All right, here we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the virtual San Antonio Book Festival. I'm Val Santos, and I'm here with my girl, Ally Brooke. Hey, Ally.
Hi, hey Val, thank you so much for having me today.
Of
This is awesome.
course.
And as a girl from San Antonio, this just makes my heart burst. So thank you.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you, at least virtually, here in your home city. So today we're going to be obviously talking about your book,
Yay!
Finding Harmony. Such a good read. It's
Thank
like
you.
whenever I need to just like wind down and like it's my escape from. I'm like, oh, let me read Finding Your Harmony, and it's just so
You.
awesome for you to like open up and like be vulnerable and like really put yourself out there. What was that process like?
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot because there was, gosh, so much that went into this book. A lot of love, a lot of like heartbreak, but it was all worth
Yeah,
it because being able to share this with my fans and even some people who don't know me, and
yeah,
also share my love for San Antonio, for my hometown. That was a gift for me because a
hmm,
lot of people now, because I write about everything. I write about, of course, the Tex-Mex, which is
yeah,
like the write about, our food, and
yeah,
then the people and like our traditions and like fiesta and all that.
yeah,
And it's special, to be able to share that with San Antonio and to be able to pour out my story and my heart. Was one of the greatest challenges to write a book, but
yeah.
it was so worth it because I have received so many amazing stories of people being so touched and so blessed and have received hope and light from my book, and that was my prayer, that people
Yeah.
would feel that and would feel inspired, um,
Hmm.
like they can accomplish whatever their heart is set out to do. So that's been a blessing, and of
Yeah.
course hopefully inspire people's faith.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think people forget that, like, people in the public eye in the industry are people. We have like a culture where we kind of like desensitize ourselves to,
Yeah.
celebrities and, people. And so having a book where it like talks about what you went through in your life, how you got to where you are now, and it just really showed like, hey, Ally is a human being, and she's gone through, real stuff like we all do. So it's something that people can like relate to. So, what made you think like, what, I'm gonna do this? I have to share my story. Like, what was that journey like?
I always knew in my heart I wanted to write a book one day, and I actually didn't
Hmm.
think I would do it so early, but I also
Hmm.
didn't think I'd live this much life in
Yeah.
my short living. So I went through a lot, and you see that in the book, and a lot of pain, a lot
Hmm.
of heartache, a lot of tragedy,
Yeah.
so much music industry that I didn't even really begin to kind of discuss, but I definitely shared a lot, and I knew that I had a story to tell and a purpose, and most importantly, going from being in a place where I was lost and
Mm-hmm.
I was sad, I was so discouraged, I was not happy in my life,
Mm-hmm.
to being where I am today, living out my dreams, having such wonderful friendships with people, relationships, work relationships, and
Yeah.
knowing that that's possible and sharing that with my readers, that it is possible to live a beautiful full life, but we do
Hmm.
have to storms, and
Yeah.
to me, with God all things are possible, and sometimes it's hard to feel that when you're going through a storm. I'm very candid in my book where I was questioning
Yeah.
God, I was angry, I didn't know the purpose for certain situations, but later on um, I just discovered so many lessons, and I wanted to share that with my readers,
Yeah.
advise to deal with insecurity, how to deal
Hmm.
with social media bullying, how to deal with comparison, how to deal with maybe some injustice in my industry, but
Yeah.
also I could apply to any
In the
industry.
world, yeah. Hmm.
That, and then also feeling those highs of my success, and most importantly, like my success on my own. That was amazing. And I just really wanted to share that hope with people. Hope is alive. Hope is here. Hope is there for us all. And especially in such a challenging year, I felt like people need this. I felt all those reasons were why I released my book. And also, of course, importantly, to share my faith and like my testimony on how God's changed my life, not just career-wise, but just in my heart, on the inside, with my family. I share a lot of moments.
Did you, while you were writing the book, did you kind of like rediscover things about yourself, like having to go back and like basically like relive moments of your life where there was the highs or the lows? Like, did you start to kind of like discover more about yourself during the process of writing, Finding Your Harmony?
I did. Oh my gosh. You know, I really discovered how strong I really am. And a lot of what I had to revisit was so hard. Some days I would not want to talk about it. Some days I wouldn't want to write about it. I didn't want to open up that in my mind again. But I realized how strong I am, how much I've overcome in my life. And that is beautiful when you see your own growth and you see how much you triumph over. And especially when I was faced with such discouragement again, you know, and not knowing where my career would go or where my life would go or where my personal life or, you know, so things I deal with. So that was a gift for me. And then also just to see how much life I've lived, like, you know, the good, I've lived a lot of life. I've seen most of the world, you know, I've gotten to be a part of something that was huge, you know, that meant a lot to many people. And then I've just had so many experiences that I'm so thankful for. And it's only getting started. That's the best part.
Yeah, like you're totally navigating yourself as Ally Brooke, like you as an artist, now an author, like you're just totally just navigating the world in your career, and it's at such a young age too. Like that's just really cool to watch that growth, because I mean you've been through a lot and you've overcome a lot, so it's really awesome to see. So so you write about your overcoming shyness in your book. Do you still feel like, even though you have to go on stage and perform and stuff and do events, do you still feel like that, you know, that shyness is still in there? Like how did you overcome that?
You know what's funny? So I also write in my book how much Selena meant to me, Selena Quintanilla. She's #1 favorite artist of all time. And of course she's from Texas, she's from Corpus. She shared many beautiful moments in San Antonio, you know. I share all of that, which is awesome. Like I just love Texas, and I love San Antonio. And I would watch her videos since I was basically, born, since I was in diapers. And I would watch her and how bubbly she was. Most importantly, how much her personality shined and touched others, how she would crack and make someone laugh, or how she would play with a little kid and make their whole lives. I just saw her beautiful spirit, and I was like, I want to be like that, you know, like she's from a very young age. And I would credit her. She helped me overcome my shyness. So watching her videos, and then also being on stage performing, that helped me so much, because I was so shy when I was young. I would turn my back to sing in front of people. It was very bad. I would cry when I would sing in front of some people. But being on stage when I was 9 years old, that changed everything for me. It was just this remarkable feeling, and that stage helped to craft me to who I am today. And now I'm not shy. Like, I'm never really shy. There are a few moments. It's funny because like I'll meet one of my favorite, you know, whether it's like actor or singer or, you know, favorite chef. I'm a huge like Food Network fan, like HGTV.
Same.
And now Magnolia Network because I love Chip and Joanna Gaines.
Yes.
And even though I haven't met them yet, I hope I do. But
Yeah.
I sometimes like when I meet someone, I can get shy. Like
Yeah. You're like, yeah. Oh yeah, I know how that goes.
yes, because, gosh, I'm a huge fan, and you're kind of sort of my hero, and I'm meeting you.
Yeah, like I grew up watching you, and now you're in front of me, and I don't know what to say.
Yes, I met Justin Timberlake a few years ago, and I feel like now I can talk. Well, I mean, I talked to him, but
Yeah.
now I feel like I can actually like have
Easier.
more and be easier. But
Yeah.
I remember kind of quiet. I was very, you know, I wasn't like awkward or anything, but I was a little more quiet because I was just taken aback. Like, wow,
Yeah.
this is someone I look up to who's right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've always dreamt of meeting him, and but he was so nice and like such a like legend that he is, you know, which is super cool. But
yeah, I mean, like being a young woman growing up, especially like in the 90s, like Justin Timberlake was from, you know, Mickey Mouse Club all the way up to his solo. I think now it's probably easier because you can start to see like he's really chill and funny, like laid back. But man, if I was a teenager and had to meet him, I probably would have just passed out.
Oh yeah, totally. Thank God I haven't passed out in front of you then yet.
Has anybody ever passed out in front of you or almost passed out, like meeting you?
Probably, yeah. Like especially Fifth Harmony, like definitely had some fans sob, like not just cry, sob. It's actually so touching. That really is just like, wow, you know, I mean that much to someone, or we meant that much. Even if you had passed out, but they were okay.
Your fans are so hardcore. They love you so much. I even remember when we first met a couple years ago, and like the lounge was just full of the fans, and people were like tweeting like crazy because they knew you were going to be in town, and they like know all your, you know, family members' name, not in a creepy way. Like they know everything about you, and they're like they are truly care about your well-being. Like your fans they just love and adore you. That's got to be a crazy feeling, right?
It's amazing. I love my fans so much. You know, the fact that they have so much passion, they're rooting for me, and they love me enough to love my family members and check in on them and to support them. And the book made them fall in love. Oops! Oh, my ring. Hold on. I got my special ring. Okay, you know, I talk so much about my family and specifically my and how much they sacrificed to help me pursue a dream since I was a young girl. They would be there, you know, when I was performing at the Market Square. Shout out to my, you know, San Antonio peeps who know the Market Square and Oyster Cake, and oh my gosh, like they were right there at every show and beyond that. Y'all got to read the book. So the people who are watching.
Yes. And it's especially and then the fans. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know, especially to my mom. For the viewers who don't know, she was born with severe scoliosis, and that is such a debilitating challenge for her and for me. You know, most of my life I grew up watching her in agonizing pain, and she still would be there at my performances to fly me on the airplane to LA. It was something she's my real hero. No one's stronger than Mom, and no one's more like sweeter and full of love than her. But you'll see in there that she got a surgery in 2015 or 16. Yeah, 15, I believe. Yeah. And she is so much better now. Unfortunately, she's all the way better. She still deals with pain, which is sad. And, you know, hurts a heart.
Yeah, you don't want to see your mom hurt.
Oh no, that's the worst thing in the world. But she's at least better. That's another beautiful story that I share about, you know, my faith. I believe, you know, like God totally put the right doctor in our lives. And I know, you know, San Antonio, there's a lot of people, you know, struggling there, and I just encourage someone, you know, who may need that hope right now. We have to wait years. We had to wait years, my family and I, my mom, to find a doctor to help her. I mean, gosh, year after year, she would get excited about a doctor, or she would search, and she would almost be in surgery, but then something, you know, would fall through, or she just wouldn't feel right. But it happened, you know, and that's the beauty. So I just want to encourage someone out there who needs that encouragement. Is that it's there, and God is with you, and I want to bring hope to someone.
Don't give up. Me. And don't get discouraged.
I think
am I frozen again? Oh man,
Val, did I lose you?
Am I frozen? Can you hear me?
There you go. You're good.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, hopefully that doesn't happen too much again. So your book is, we'll go back to how your book is kind of like a love letter to San Antonio. And for the people that don't live in San Antonio that read your book, it's I feel like they can really get a sense of the city and the, like we said before, like the pride of the city. Because I think a lot of people think like San Antonio is like, oh, the Spurs, like, oh, you know, but they don't really understand like the culture here. It's like a whole new world down here. So let's talk about your love of San Antonio, like, and growing up here and what that was like.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I would not choose to grow up, to have had a childhood, you know, anywhere else than San Antonio. We do have such a pride for our city and for what we stand for our roots, you know, being that Mexican American culture, that Latin filled city. You know, we're there's so many Hispanics there, and just a diversity of people who we you know, celebrate. And I, of course, especially love that our culture is celebrated. And that was so amazing to grow up to see, because it was just part of life. You know, my family and I were always proud of who we were and of our traditions and of our background, of our heritage, and to know that our city just celebrated that. I mean, we have Fiesta, which is a huge, like, I describe it in the book, but it's a huge, like, basically festival, but also like food fair that lasts for a week. Big parade at the end of that week that welcomes in spring, and the Battle of Flowers parade. There's so many things, and I really go into detail of, you know, how we celebrate that, and it's a bunch of, you know, colors and food, and so much of our traditions, like flamenco dancing and mariachis everywhere. It's just cool. So to grow up seeing that, and to feel that pride in our heritage is beautiful, because I know really not everybody, you know, can get that. And so I love that we were always we always had that in us, you know, that joy, and so much life, vibrancy, such a beautiful family friendly city with to offer, and just a lot of heart. So I loved it. I would grow up, gosh, going to all the different Mexican restaurants with my family. Shout out to Blanca. They always welcome me, and they have a picture on their wall, the one in Frederick's Road, I believe that one. But yeah, there's just so much that I love about the city. I mean, the Tex-Mex alone, oh my gosh, it's just like I'm craving it.
Whole new level.
Yes, the enchiladas, the tacos, queso. Oh, there's so much to love about our city, and our city always welcomes people, you know, which is awesome. Like, for example, when there's someone who's from out of town, we don't like shame them or shun them or anything like that. We're like, hey, come on, show you our city. You know, you're here, and we welcome you, and try our food. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I grew up in a different place where we didn't like get to celebrate our Mexican culture. And there's so you moving, being here now, I get to actually like learn and be around like the culture that I didn't get to learn about growing up. And I absolutely love it. So I almost feel like I got robbed of not knowing my Mexican culture, but like being down here, I really truly get to embrace that side of me. And I absolutely love, not to make it about me, but like that's what I just love San Antonio. I love the culture of it. And maybe next year we'll get a fiesta. This pandemic needs to be.
I'm supposed to be the grand marshal of this year's fiesta, and of course that didn't happen, which was so devastating amongst other things. But
yeah,
we're seeing the light, so yay.
Yes. Hopefully next year. So what have you been doing during this pandemic? Like, how have you been getting through it?
You know what? Like the first few months were rough because and I wrote about that in my book as well, about how I was on my very first headlining solo tour, and just days into that, it had to be shut down because of, the pandemic and stuff. And that was really hard because I worked my whole life to be able to be on my own tour, and then it gets shut down. Of course, you can imagine how devastated I was. But I learned a lot about myself, and I was able to, call my family. I mean, I always do. I call them every day, but, more so catch up with a lot of my friends, and make a lot more phone calls than I was able to, because life, as an artist is very, very on the go, very busy. You barely have time to eat. So it was really nice. Yeah, it was really nice that I was able to take that rest in a way and catch up with my loved ones on a deeper level.
Yeah.
But also, I'm so thankful that I was able to work. I was with an awards show in the summer. I honored Selena with Nati Natasha and Gracie and Dana Paula for Premio Juventud. And then I was able to film a video for my song called 500 Veces. And then I was able to film my very first movie called High Expectations. And that was unbelievable. Like so special. That could be a book in itself. Maybe one day it will be.
And, right. Oh my God.
Yes. And then I was part of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. That was so special.
Yes. And we saw that.
Oh, you did! Yay!
Yes, we did. Yeah. It was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So you can add artist, author, actress. So your resume is growing, girl. It's so awesome to see. So Brittany would like to know, what advice would you give young women who lack motivation and confidence to achieve their goals, and how do you encourage others to find their own passion?
I understand it is really hard when you struggle with confidence. I write that very openly in my book. When I was 12 years old, I really, really, really struggled with my confidence. I was super insecure going to LA when I was 12, being with all these new kids who were really cool, and I didn't see a lot of young Latinas like myself, and I just felt like a fish out of water, and I felt like I was not pretty enough, not cool enough, I wasn't good enough, and I had a breakdown, with my mom, and it was one of the most heartbreaking moments. Even to this day, like thinking about it, it breaks my heart that I felt that way, and my mom was crying because I can't imagine how she was feeling. She said that was one of the worst nights for her ever. But there's hope. After that, I wrote my very first song the morning after that horrible night. I wrote my song called Be You, and I just want to encourage you, Brittany, that you can follow your heart and follow your dreams, and it's okay to not always be confident. But
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to be confident that you are made beautifully, and sometimes we just need to hear that, and
Mm-hmm.
don't let those voices stop you from whether you want to write or you want to sing or you want to start your own business, whatever you want to do. Trust me, coming from me, someone who was super insecure, and I struggle with insecurity to this day, that you can deal with it, you can overcome it, and you can live your life, you can accomplish your dreams. So I just
Absolutely.
want to encourage you that that's possible.
Yeah. And also don't compare yourself to anyone else. Like if you keep comparing yourself to, the person next door or somebody on the Instagram or on TV, like just don't compare yourself and find your good qualities.
Yes, that's right.
I think I had another question, but I can't, I'm having a hard time popping up. So I'll just keep going. So in this memoir, you're sharing, okay, hold on. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that. Cassie asked, do you have a favorite chapter? And the message just disappeared.
That's a great question. Oh my gosh. What was the second part? Sorry, it cut off.
I clicked on it and then it disappeared. So the first part I got was, do you have a favorite chapter?
I love that question. I don't think I've ever been asked that. My favorite chapter, that's so hard. Maybe definitely the later chapters of my life where I
Yeah.
figured things out and started to, live out my dreams. Those are awesome. So I would say, like the Dancing with the Stars chapters were just awesome. The positive parts of that. And oh my gosh, I mean, I also love the beginning chapters too, where I do talk about San Antonio and growing up and all my traditions. And then, one of my favorite chapters too, it's called Dada, and that was my grandpa who passed away, and that was a beautiful story that happened, that my mom and him and like our family reconciled with him before he passed away, and that was a miracle in front of my eyes, and something that our family will never forget. And I know he would be so proud of me, and he would be so happy that I'm writing about him, and
Yeah.
love for people to see that story. That changed me, honestly, and that deepened my faith so much, because I thought that was impossible for reconciliation to happen, but it did. And so I firmly believe in miracles, and that was definitely one of my favorite chapters. That I can't read it. Sometimes I'll read it, but sometimes I can't, because it obviously, I get sad that he's not here. But
Brings it up.
yes, but at the same time, when I do read it and I have the strength, it just brings me to tears and brings me right back to that moment where we hugged him, and we just shared that love, that I never. So that I would say is one of my favorite, and I love you, Dada. Who's watching?
For sure. Now, I found the second part of the question. Cassie also wants to know, what is the most important lesson from the book in for you?
Number one for me is that you can achieve your dreams, and that there is a plan for your life, and that there is hope. That is what I say. I've had so many moments where I was on the floor crying my eyes out and so heartbroken over mainly stuff in my career that happened to me that was really hard to navigate, things that were shut, moments where I thought, how am I going to get out of this? How am I ever going to achieve my dreams? Am I going to, like, is it even in the cards for me?
Right.
And that's a horrible place to be in. But knowing that I got through that, and I can just tell you guys, like, it is possible. You know, again, sometimes we have to just wait it out, or we just have to have even a mustard seed of faith, and your life
Yeah.
will change. It can change. You're not going to be stuck
Yeah.
in a monotonous situation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to be patient, and you will
Yeah.
see that sunrise again. You'll feel that light on your face. You'll spread
Yeah.
your light. So I want
Yeah.
to share because I feel like, you know, life's always going to have its challenges. I'm sure I'm going to have
Yeah.
so many challenges in my life, but knowing that, hey, I got through all this in my
Yeah.
life, and it's possible.
Absolutely.
Whatever situation comes my way, that is what I want to share with people.
Yeah.
Hope is
Absolutely.
miracles happen and dreams come true.
Yep. Yep. You get through it, not over it.
That's right. That's right, girl.
Let's see. Amy wants to know, what would you tell your younger self while you're passing for all? Hold on, let me see it. Okay, what would you tell your younger self going through all the difficult things that you talked about in the book? It's basically kind of, I guess, would mirror what we just talked about.
Yes, I would say you're going to get through it, and you're going to see things that you could have never imagined, and you're going to be beyond, above and beyond happy.
Yeah.
So get ready. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Brody asks, what plans do you have this year as an artist?
I have a lot of plans. I am so excited. I can't say much right now, but
There are plans. Something's coming, Brody.
a lot in the next few months. So yes, guys, hold on tight. I can't wait.
And it's so exciting because now that, you know, people are getting vaccinated, things are opening up, we're going to get to see what you have in store for us over the next few months. Miss Ally, that's so exciting. Taylor asks, now that you've published and released your first book, do you see yourself writing additional ones in the same genre or maybe even a different genre?
Oh, yes, that's a great question. Oh, yes. I basically have already written part 2 to this book. And in an extension. And then also, I want to write a children's book because I love children so much. I love kids. You saw me.
I know. Yeah. Immediately.
Yes. And I'd love to release a cookbook one day of my family's recipes.
Yes.
I'm a huge chef in the kitchen. I'm a huge like person in the kitchen. I don't know how to say it, but I'm very active in the kitchen. So I love to bake, I love to cook. So I would love to release that. But yes, also a very similar inspirational, you know, faith-based book kind of about my life. And also I'd love to release a fiction book.
We need to get you like on a celebrity cooking show with like Gordon Ramsay or something. You know how they have like the celebrity cook-offs?
Met Gordon Ramsay a few years ago because my brother and I are big fans, and we got to see him at the time. I think
Hell's Kitchen.
No, it was a new one. It was I'm blanking. But anyways, we were there. We got to see a live taping, and we met him, and we literally have that in our living room at home in Texas. We love Gordon. So
I love me some Ramsay.
Yes, yes. And then yes, though, like I really want to get on the Food Network and Magnolia Network. So fans, do your thing. Anybody?
Yeah, right. Let's start tweeting.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, what's your favorite thing to cook in the kitchen?
That is so hard, girl. Dang,
Top 3.
I love. Okay, top 3 would be like any pie. For Valentine's Day, I made this chocolate pecan. Wait, I think it's like a brownie chocolate pecan pie from one of my favorite chefs, Jeff Morrow. He's from The Kitchen, and he's from Sandwich King on Food Network. And he actually just sent me a cookbook, and I posted on my Instagram. He is awesome. Like, I'm a super fan of him. And I just made, in his book, he makes, his wife actually makes these, they're called sea salt chocolate chip pecan cookies. And I've made dozens of recipes, okay? This just is so amazing. Like, it's hands down the best recipe. Is divine. And then I also made like these breakfast sandwiches with sausage and English muffins and eggs and like different cheeses from his book, which was magnificent. Yeah, I just love it all, girl.
I've been trying to learn how to make eggs Benedict, and that was like my project last weekend, and it's not going very well.
You know what, Julie Gaines, I just saw her on her cooking show on the Magnolia Network. She made that, and so I'm like, okay, she made it look pretty easy, so I'm gonna try. But yeah, it might be harder than
my holiday sauce was not doing it, what it should have done. Let's see. No. I'll try this weekend. John asked, Selena was a major influence for you. Are there any other Tejano artists that have influenced you as well?
That is an awesome question. Oh my gosh, wait. So shout out to Shelly Lares, Emilio Navarro, Elida Reina. Actually, she is amazing. My uncle Ernest, shout out to Uncle Ernest, I love you, is super close with her, and she has an amazing voice. In fact, when I was a young girl performing in San Antonio before I, got signed and all that, I sang one of her songs called Duele. So actually, if any of you guys are watching, y'all could Google Ally Brooke Duele. It should come up. And comment on it and let me know if you're from this chat, because that is a song that I covered by her that is still one of my favorite Tejano songs to this day. She's awesome. So shout out Elida, and she supports me. She's a big supporter. So thank you. You're back.
What's that like to have one of your favorite people now being a supporter of you in your career? That's got to be pretty amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes, it is, because it's like, you grow up and you sing, these artist songs or listen to them, and then they support you in your own success. It's amazing. And then also it's crazy because I also talk about in my book how I am friends with Suzette Quintanilla, Selena's sister, and how that came about. In fact, I believe the week that I met you, or no, the days either before or after.
Oh yeah.
Yes, in 2019.
I remember that.
Yes, voting. I think it was Low Key, or Lips Don't Lie. One of those. I think it was Low Key.
It was Low Key.
Yes, and she's just unbelievable. She's a friend to me and a mentor, and I go to her for advice. She is just such an incredible human being, so smart, so strong, so giving, so passionate, and so caring. And every day I'm like, I cannot believe I'm friends with her. It's just
that's crazy.
She inspired me, and her sister and her family. So that every day I'm just I'm so grateful. It's one of the biggest honors of my life.
Yeah, and it's got to be hard to be in the industry to navigate who you could truly, for you and her, being Selena's sister, that who you can trust when it comes to the industry. So for you to find people and truly have that trust and that bond, that's got to be really hard to find.
Oh yes, it is. Oh my gosh, it is so hard to find people you can trust and your friends and your team. And now I figured it out. It took a very many years, but again, it's possible. And I just am so grateful every day for the people who I have in my life, the people who love me back, and just to be there for each other. It's a gift. We don't have to walk life alone. And you can have people who love you for who you are, and celebrate with you. That was a thing that like I feel like I didn't have before, was people who, I mean, maybe just a few, but like people who could really celebrate with me and walk
Yeah.
life and everything I was going through with me. And I
Yeah.
found it is a joy. It is a joy and a gift.
Yeah.
And yes, so it's amazing.
Gotta be a peaceful feeling to know, like, okay, I can like let my guard down. I can like trust this person, these people, or whoever, like fully.
Yes, because I've been hurt many times by people who I thought were my friends, who were just
Yeah.
using me, or who were lying to me,
Yeah.
who were not good for me.
Yeah.
And I got my heart broken many times, but
Yeah.
to go back to having, just beautiful, lifelong friends forever, for the rest of
Yeah.
our life, the rest of my
Yeah.
life, like
Hmm.
counting that as my blessing. And every day I'm just grateful to God for the people He put in my life,
Yeah.
especially
Um,
my fans, especially my fans.
yeah. Yep. They become your family. What is the one of the biggest things that you want people to, I guess, learn about you, or to know about you from finding your harmony? Like what's something you're like, I really just hope they understand this about me.
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like as an artist, sometimes it's hard because you kind of have like an image to uphold, which I love
Right.
that. But
Hmm.
sometimes people don't understand like the human behind the image. And I
Yeah.
hope that you just see my heart, see that I value love, I value faith, I value my family more than
Yeah.
anything. And I I hope that people will learn maybe from my book, lessons, life lessons on how to navigate everything in life. I talk about everything from, again, dealing with insecurity to dealing with, you know, social media bullying and injustice and all that, but also dealing with, when things don't go your way, or when certain opportunities don't work out, or even losing loved ones and how hard that is.
Yeah.
Hope that people can see my heart and my purpose, and to get hope from my book, to be that light in people's lives.
Hmm.
And also, I can't wait for people to meet the people who helped pave the way. There's so many people
Yeah.
from San Antonio. Shout out to my third grade elementary school teacher named
Oh.
Carol. She's why I'm singing, basically, and she's my
Oh.
coach. Terry Laurie, I love you. Thank you for changing my life. He
Oh.
he was the, I believe, founder of the organization NAYA NYA. That was when I first performed ever in my life, and that's how I
Hmm.
started performing, because he gave me that chance, and just shining that spotlight on those people and my parents, and
Yeah.
that is a gift, to be able to share their story as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. If you are in this session right now, you have not bought Ally Brooke's book, Finding Your Harmony, you can actually press the buy button, from what I understand, on your end and buy it. Okay, it will be some inspiration in your life. It's a beautiful story of Ally and everything she's been through, good and bad, the good, the bad, the ugly, and it's incredible. If anybody has any questions right now, we have about 2 minutes to get maybe a question or two in. And let's see. And if not, that's okay. Ally, is there anything that you would like to leave off with?
Oh my gosh, just thank you so much to everybody who supported me, and especially my San Antonians. I love you. I love my city so much. I will always have pride for that beautiful city, and I can't wait
Yeah.
to go home soon. I actually was just home singing the national anthem at the Spurs game, the first one I let in.
Yeah.
That was so special. But I love you guys. Thank you. And keep on dreaming. Know that anything is possible, and that you really can achieve. I say it on the cover of my book. You can achieve more than you can imagine. So I leave
Yeah.
you with that.
Great. Well, we love it. It looks like we are almost out of time. Again, if you have not bought Ally Brooks, book, Finding Your Harmony. Press the buy button, and trust me, you're doing yourself a favor too. So we are so honored to have been a part of this. Ally, thank you so much for taking the time out today to chat with me in the San Antonio Book Festival. It's been so much fun I feel like we're like reuniting and just kind of like saying hey again. It's just so great. You have such a beautiful heart, and I just like am so excited to see what you have in store for us and all your fans later on this year.
Thank you so much, Val. Thank you for being one of my biggest supporters and being there for me and for having me today. It means a lot. And enjoy San Antonio for me. Get those tacos and queso.
I will. Oh, I will already have, and I'll have more on the way. All right. Thank you everyone for joining, and enjoy the book festival.